But we begin with the deadly violence in Afghanistan. That attack in Kabul was one of two that happened overnight. The second took place a short time later in the eastern city of Khost. At least 18 people were killed in the two attacks. As we said, the Taliban claims responsibility for the Kabul bombing, calling it a message for Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel, who's in the Afghan capital. Charlie D'Agata is also there this morning. Charlie, good morning.
Good morning to you, Anthony. Yes, the suicide bomber that struck here in Kabul this morning struck outside the Afghan Ministry of Defense. Now, it's a few blocks, maybe half a mile from where the defense secretary was at the time, but we felt it here. He and those traveling with him felt it too, and they were taken to a shelter until the all clear. Afghan military officials say just after 9 a.m. local time, a suicide bomber on a bicycle rode up to within 30 yards of the main gate of the ministry before blowing himself up. Gunfire rang out after the explosion. Police say at least 9 people were killed and another 14 wounded. It's not the first time that main entrance has been hit, nor the first time it was struck by a person on a bicycle. U.S. officials say Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel, who arrived here in Kabul last night, was nowhere near the blast. He was at a safe location at an ISAF facility, the International Security Assistance Force. But he and those traveling with him were taken to a shelter within that facility, which was already in lockdown. Security aside, Hagel has a political crisis on his hands now, too. Today was supposed to be the final handover of Bagram prison to Afghan control. It has been a major sticking point to U.S. and Afghan relations, but this morning that was postponed over what officials are calling technical matters. Now, the defense secretary met with U.S. troops not far from here in Jalalabad. Regarding the suicide bombing, he expressed his condolences to the Afghan victims and said he wasn't sure what it was at the time. He was in the middle of a briefing, but he did say, quote, "We're in a war zone. I've been in a war, so we shouldn't be surprised if an explosion goes off." Anthony and Rebecca?
Charlie D'Agata in Kabul this morning. Thanks, Charlie.